Welcome to From Blueprint to Beautiful, the podcast where we take you behind the scenes of home remodeling. I'm Heather Francis, and with my husband, Michael Francis, we own and operate Francis Renovations. We've spent years helping homeowners turn their renovation dreams into reality. Whether you're planning your next big project, love a good before and after, or just want to avoid common renovation pitfalls, you're in the right place. So grab a coffee or a hammer, and let's dive in.
Hi, Heather.
Hi, Michael.
How are you?
I'm good. You're throwing me off a little bit here because I was printing out an outline.
We are Francis Renovations.
We're Francis Renovations. I was printing out an outline, and you were like, no, I don't want to do any of your pre-planned ones. I want to shoot from the hip.
We don't need no stinking outline.
Okay.
Let's talk about project cost. What's my project going to cost? What is my project going? The number one question. What is my project going to cost?
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it without an outline. This is going to be fun.
Hey, Heather, what's my project going to cost?
That depends on a lot of things, Michael Francis. I can give you a ballpark number, but
Ballpark number? What's that?
You're really gonna put me on the spot, huh?
Well, do you have a place that I could see some ballpark pricing?
Yeah, on our website, as a matter of fact.
Really?
I feel like you're being antagonistic today.
Never. I'm the most antagonistic person.
I have no plan here. I've got a dog on my lap. I'm feeling very out of my element.
But that's the question we get all the time.
That is a question we get all the time.
You know, and it's probably the most important question. What's my project going to cost?
100%.
Like, accurately. You know, we get, on our website there is ballpark pricing.
For certain projects. For kitchens, bathrooms, additions.
And understanding that they're ballpark.
But okay, so start here. What's a ballpark number?
Ballpark number is a range that these projects typically fall within. 30 years of experience of doing these projects, we have a pretty good idea. We've crunched our numbers time and time again. Mm-hmm. Like when we're doing a standard bathroom in our local area, we know how many sheets of drywall it's going to be. We know that the sewer lines running through the floor are going to have to get replaced. We know that, how many screws we're going to put in the drywall. We just know these things because we've done it so many times.
Yes.
It can go up depending on the size of the tile you pick. Mm-hmm. It can, the vanity you pick out, it can go down. We can put, instead of doing tile in a shower, we can do an acrylic unit.
Yep.
So it's a range of what these projects typically cost. It can cost more, it can cost less, but it's a range of what it typically costs.
Yes. Right. So, okay, so that's a ballpark number. And then, so in our case, mm-hmm. you'll have a consultation call and you'll give that number out oftentimes on that consultation call.
If I'm comfortable.
If you're comfortable, because you know your numbers.
Yes.
And you know what things cost.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go out and you verify.
Yep.
The environment exactly. Yep. Right? And you'll modify your ballpark cost.
Yeah, so if there's things, when we go on our site visit, if there's things that we see, okay, well, we're going to have to add that in, or, they've already had their service upgraded, so we don't have to worry about that. That can come out. So that may drop the number a little bit. But the hardest thing is additions.
Well, yeah.
Because it's easy for us to give you a ballpark range for the addition itself. It's virtually impossible to give you a ballpark range for redoing existing work. Mm-hmm. So once we tie in and we're breaking through and what's going to have to get moved, what's not going to have to, because once you open a structure up, there's no telling what they did prior to us coming in there.
Yeah.
So those 8 buried junction boxes in the ceiling that now have to get moved that feed the entire house, we don't have X-ray vision.
Yeah.
But we do our best. Like we kind of,
We do our best.
We do our best.
But that ballpark number is, like in our case, like it's often in line with where the final number comes in.
Yeah.
But not always.
Not always.
So what exactly goes into what a project costs? So let's take a bathroom, for example. Mm-hmm. So say one of our listeners wants to get their bathroom done. What are the costs that go into that they should be paying attention to? Like, so if they're getting an estimate, say they're not in our local area and they don't want to use us, what should they be paying attention to make sure they understand the cost appropriately?
I mean, there's a lot of things that go into the overall cost of the project.
So, like if they're moving plumbing.
Yep.
That's going to affect the cost.
So like if it's a remove and replace, which is taking out the existing fixtures and just putting new fixtures in. So that's flooring, toilet vanity, shower surround, whether it's acrylic or tile, shower door, shower curtain, removing and replacing, not moving anything. That's one. So understanding that. If you want to move plumbing around, new shower valve, all that kind of stuff, that's number two.
Yeah. And I guess my question should have been, what are the main cost drivers in a bathroom?
In a bathroom?
Like that's probably what my question should have been. Had I had an outline, I would have been able to ask you a more cohesive question.
You on the outline. You know this. We've been doing this for 100 years.
Yeah, but listen, you're, God,
Tell me I'm cute.
you're cute. You're lucky you're cute. What are the main cost drivers? I guess that should have been my question.
So in a bathroom, it's going to be the finishes. Like we have one project where they wanted a toilet moved. That's probably the hardest thing you can do in a bathroom is moving a toilet across a room, because you can't just run a 3-inch sewer line through joists. It just doesn't work. You're compromising the structure.
So like to somebody who doesn't understand how to do it, like that just seems like it should be easy, right? Like I just want to move it from point A to point B. It's like 3 feet away.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is,
it just doesn't.
It's not that simple.
It's not that simple.
Yeah.
But like understanding all that up front. If that's what you want to do, let's put that in the design. Let's figure out what that's going to take.
Yeah.
And we can get you a cost on that.
Yeah. Tile for us is a huge cost driver.
So over the past 10 years, tile has been, it's gone up and up and up. It's not the cost of the product, it's the installation. There's fewer and fewer great tile guys out there.
Yeah.
You don't want okay. Okay is a problem.
Well, especially with tile.
Yeah.
As we know.
Yeah. So great tile guys are hard to come by and they're very costly.
Yeah. They're crazy expensive.
Yeah. Shower doors go up every year.
Shower doors go up.
The frameless shower doors.
But also, like, you can pick out, like, finish selections. You can pick out a faucet that's $100, or you can pick out a faucet that's $500. Yeah. Like, that easily goes up.
Yeah.
That goes up quick. And I usually pick out the stuff that's like $500.
Yeah. Most clients do.
Everybody does.
But it's, again, like you can get the same exact look from a $500 faucet or a $50 faucet. They're going to look exactly the same. One's just going to last longer.
Yeah.
So what do you want the look now, for the lower price, or do you want the longevity? Then you pay the upper price.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same with the $30,000 and the $70,000 bathroom. It's, like, why do we know our numbers? We know that we're going to stand behind, we're going to do a 30-day walkthrough. So I have to put in that cost into the bathroom. That's part of the overhead. Things like that. A 30-day walkthrough, a year, like I'm going to reach out to you in a year, like, is everything okay?
Yeah.
It's all in the cost.
Yeah. What are some of the other things that you wanted to talk about in this episode, since I don't know what you wanted to talk about because I don't have an outline?
What's my project going to cost? That's all. I just want to talk about what my project's going to cost.
Okay. So what are some other things that go into that?
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Come on. You wanted to do this all willy-nilly.
Let's talk about McDonald's and Capitol Grill again.
We can talk about McDonald's and Capitol Grill. That's a good idea. All right. Have at it.
But what goes into the cost of a project is more than just the material and the labor. So it's, this flooring costs $5 a square foot, and this guy's charging $3 a square foot. And then we have to mark that up, which covers our overhead. Part of our overhead is insurances and trucks and truck insurance, tools, because you always have to buy new tools, but, administration salaries, like that's all part of overhead. And then you got to make a profit.
Yeah.
Because if you're not making a profit, there's no reason to be in business.
Yeah.
So that all goes into the cost of a project. And we also have warranty. Warranty has to go into the cost of a project.
Yes.
Yes. Like you want to make sure that your contractor is taking care of you and going to be able to come back and take care of any issues, even if it's like, hey, we need to do a little bit of spackle touch up. Okay, let's do it. And we try and hit that on. We just did a 30-day walkthrough. There's a little bit of spackle touch up. Let's adjust the shower head. Let's make sure the temperature setting on the shower is okay. And done.
Why don't we talk about the shower on Hillview?
Shower on Hillview.
You were going to talk about warranty. Let's talk about
Warranty.
the shower. Like what the service that we provide that.
Because we stand behind our project, our product, and we charge so that we can stand behind our product. We have gone back. This is our fourth time going back. We added a bathroom into a house. After the first year, we got a call like, "Hey, I think there's a leak in the shower door somewhere." So we went over, we took care of it. We actually called the glass company out. They came out, put new seals on the door and everything, and it was great. So another year goes by, we get another call like, "Hey, Mike, the shower's leaking again." Okay, let's go back. Cut all the grout out around everything, cut all the silicone out, resealed everything. Another year goes by, we get another call. "Mike, I think it's leaking again. Not sure what's going on." So this time we went in, we ripped everything out. We took the shower door out, we took the sills out, we took the tile out. And hopefully this time we got it. But that's part of it. That's the client's like, "Well, when do we start paying for this?" You don't. This is on us.
Yeah. Yes.
That's part of warranty. Whereas
Yes.
most contractors or some lesser contractors are going to say, "You got to pay for this. This
Screw
is my
you."
fault."
Yeah.
Yep. Or not even call you back.
Or not even call you back.
Which is, unfortunately, in our industry, is more common than not.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
That goes into the cost, though.
Yes, it does. It does.
If you have a contractor that charged $25,000 to do a bathroom, there's a $50,000 bathroom. They didn't make any money on it. Or maybe they paid their bills out of it. They don't have any money to come back and warranty that.
Yeah. No, because they've got to go. They've got to move on to the next projects because they're going project to project.
Oh well, that's your problem. That's reality.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What else? What else did you want to talk about?
What goes so the design cost? What goes into the design cost? Why do you charge for design?
Oh, first of all, the design for us isn't a cost center. It's not like
Oh no,
it's not
we
like
don't
a
make
cost
money
driver.
on it.
We don't make any money on it.
We cover the hours that we take. We cover the architect's costs. We cover the designer's cost.
Yep.
The selection coordinator cost. And we cover our time sitting around doing everything.
Yeah. So we charge for design because we have a team of people that come together and they all want to be paid.
Yeah.
So we want to pay them appropriately.
So let's touch on that a little bit because one thing we hear a lot is, well, this kitchen company is going to do the design for free.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is not the case.
That's
ever.
not the case. No, you're always going to pay for it. So there's a lot of contractors that will charge up front for design and then tell you that I'll credit you back in your if you move forward with it,
yes.
In construction.
They just add that cost into the contract.
They add that cost into the construction and come off.
Okay, I'm going to take your $3,000 off, but I'm going to add $3,000 somewhere in the contract.
Yeah. So we charge for it, and it's a standalone fee, but everybody does. Yeah. It's just a matter of how transparent they are about it.
Yeah. And even you go to a kitchen company.
Yes.
And they do, okay, we're going to do your whole kitchen design for free.
Yes. It's not for free.
But they're not going to, they'll give you a rendering of what your kitchen should look like.
Yeah.
They will not give you specific cabinet sizes, and they won't release all of your selections to you until you either A, sign a contract and order that material from them, because that's where they're making their money. So these $30,000 cabinets, you're paying $65,000 for.
Yes.
Which is whatever.
Yeah.
But they're covering their design costs, or the cost of the designer, their overhead and everything when they sell those cabinets.
Yeah.
And that's not even install.
No.
So then you got to go find your contractor to do all the installation. But they won't release that design to you until you do that.
Yes.
Or you pay a design fee, which we've done. We paid the kitchen company $3,500 to release that design to us because we put that cost in.
Yeah.
And we ended up buying the cabinet somewhere else for, I think, $20,000 less.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Yeah, I mean.
But you're paying for it somewhere. Right?
But you're paying for everything somewhere.
Yeah. Yep.
Nothing. You don't get anything for free.
No. No, and I would rather somebody be upfront about it. Just my opinion.
No, and I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. We're going to charge you for it. We're investing in our project.
Yeah. And
to me, it's a huge value that when you're paying somebody to do something, they're going to provide a value.
Yeah.
And the value is the design of the project that there's a collaboration on between us, the contractor, the client or the homeowner, and the other contractors, the tradesmen that we bring in.
Yeah.
Everybody works through it like, hey, that's not feasible. You're going to have to do this, this, and this for me to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, we know this up front.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yep.
That is all
What
right.
is it? Connection, collaboration, construction.
You came up with that, and I forgot it already.
You hate me.
I just have the memory of a fish. That's all.
So you're always happy.
If only that were true. Okay. I think that that's good.
All right, so that covered, there's a million things that go into the cost of a project.
Well, right. I mean,
But
to cover all of those things, and each type of project is different. Like it's very subjective.
Yeah.
But this is a good starting point. If somebody's starting a project and they want to understand, like what should they be looking for? This is a good.
Yeah.
opening.
Like if you have the time to be your own general contractor and you make all your selections and you're going to go buy it and you're going to have to deal with everything, like
all the scheduling, all the trades.
oh, the cabinet door was broken or the vanity top came in cracked. Like you're the one dealing with all that. Where if you hire a general contractor, we deal with all that. We go through all the design with you. We talk to you every day. We give you updates. We do our specific project walkthroughs.
Yes.
That's what you get.
That's what you get. Anything else you want to add? All right. Wrap it up. Final thoughts and summarize the key points that you'll walk away with from this conversation.
That I would walk away with from this?
That you want people to walk away with from this.
Oh, well, hire Francis Renovations for every project.
Obviously, forever.
Interiors, exteriors, additions, renovations. Francis Renovations is the only way to fly.
The only way to fly. Outside of that.
Projects can cost, there's going to be a range that your project is going to cost. Understanding what's involved in that cost and what's included with it.
You want to get some detail.
You want a lot of detail. So.
Yeah. Don't just sign with someone who says your bathroom's going to cost $25,000 and gives you no detail.
Yeah.
And you don't have anything picked out. Yeah. All right.
What key points would you take out of it?
I would take out of it.
Or would you want people to know?
I would want people to. My highlights are. It's really important to understand exactly what you're getting. That proposal or the scope of work is key, because the last thing you want is to go through this, to start a project, not really know what you're getting into, not have anything picked out ahead of time, and then find that, you get your final bill and it's $20,000 more than what you thought it was going to be or what they told you it was going to be. Yeah. Like, it's just understanding, it's communication up front. I think that's the key. Making sure you understand exactly what they're using.
Yeah.
Exactly, and what goes into it. I think that there's a level of.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
All right.
All right.
Hey, thanks, Michael Francis.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's a wrap for this episode of From Blueprint to Beautiful. I hope you enjoyed the conversation and took away some helpful insights for your own home projects. If you loved what you heard, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you have a renovation question or a story to share, I'd love to hear from you. You can connect with me at heather@francisrenovations.com, follow along on social media, or reach out at www.francisrenovations.com. And hey, if you're feeling generous, leave a quick rating and review. It helps more homeowners like you find the show. Thanks for listening, and until next time, keep dreaming, designing, and building.